All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Webinar Wednesday with URG. My name is Kristen Alexander, and we have Amanda Morrison here as well. We are URG's Member Relations Specialists. Thank you again for joining. And today we have an exciting guest presenter, Richard Flint, talking about this thing called stress. I know that this is going to be a great seminar to hear, especially in what's going on today. So, Richard, I'm going to pass it off to you and get started.
Hey, thank you, Kristen. What an honor it is to be with the URG family. I mean, I remember very good memories about being at the convention and being a part. And I'm excited to be here today to be able to share with the membership uh, this concept of stress, because stress is an everyday part of the human life. And the thing about it that I've seen over the past couple of months is this, with this new abnormal that is taking place, and what it's bringing to people. Because what I see, what I sense, what I feel, and all the things that I have been doing is that with the unknown that it has created, with the unpredictable it has created, with the uncontrollable it has created, and with the uncertainty that it has created. When you put those four things together, what it does is it takes this thing called stress and it can heighten it in people's lives. So here's our beginning thought. Stress is a natural part of one's life. It's one of those aspects you can't live without. But if you don't learn to control it, it becomes one of those things that can kill you. When I wrote my book, The Truth About Stress, one of the things when I finished with the book that I came away with is I believe that stress is one of the biggest causes of human illness. I lost a sister a few years ago, and the doctor told me that Rita had died because of the stress in her life. And he had mentioned to her, you need to get rid of some of this stress. But she didn't listen. And he said her heart literally exploded from the stress. I lost one of my mentoring students recently because of stress. And this is the thing that people don't understand. Stress is a natural part of life. You're a human, you're breathing, you're alive, you're going to have stress. And yet, when you look at it, we think, well, I don't need it. Yes, you do. Because you can't live without stress. If I could take all the stress out of your life, you'd be dead in 2.5 minutes. That is a medical fact. That's not a statement. That's a medical fact. And if you put that into your head, you begin to understand when I talk about that stress is a natural part of life. Now, stress does not have to be bad. But if you can't control its emotional, its mental, and its physical aspects in your life, it can kill you. So let me put this in front of you. Stress is something that most people store, they don't confront. I mean, if I came to your life and you and I spent some time, would I find you right now struggling with any stress because of this new abnormal? Has it affected your business? Has it affected you emotionally? Is it playing with you mentally? Do you find that you physically, you're tired than you have been? Do you find that physically you find yourself just walking around sometimes drained? It's because most people just accept the fact of stress. They don't confront it. Stress is something, hang on a second, it froze on us. I'm going to go away from here for a second and come right back to it. Stress is a ticking time bomb that at some point will explode. Folks, if you carry stress long enough within you, it will take over control of your life. And when it explodes, it will explode within you emotionally. It will explode within you mentally. It will explode within you physically. It's always going to be there, but what it is to your life is defined by what you choose to do with it. Stress is refueled by your resistance to change. And this is going to be one of the interesting things that we're going to watch as we come out of this new abnormal. Because business is not going to look the same as it looked before we went into this time of this new abnormal. And on the other side, you're going to have to take a different look at your business. You're going to have to be willing to adapt. You're going to have to be willing to adjust. And you're going to have to be a person who's willing to face change. Stress is an everyday part of your life. And that's something that you have to realize. It's an everyday part of your life. And it's something that you're going to have to accept. And if you don't accept it, it will kill you. It will overwhelm your life. And it's something that you'd better pay attention to. So I want to take you into my dictionary. And I want to put some words in front of you. And they're words that are important as we go through this. Stress. Anything in life that makes you uptight. Now, you understand that's every day of your life, right? You understand that from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, as you go through this day of your life, there are things that are going to come at you. Many times they're going to be unpredictable. They're going to be uncontrollable. They're going to make you feel uncertain. And they're going to make you feel uptight. When I was writing my book on stress, one of the most challenging things that I had to do was to define the word stress. And I found 127 different definitions to the word. Now, you want to talk about stressful. So none of them really made sense to me. They were either too lengthy or too technical. So I said, there's got to be a definition to stress that will just be able to be related to by the average person. And this is the definition I came up with. Anything in life that makes you uptight. Here's another one of our words. Life. Every day of breath that is filled with choices and decisions you will make. You see, folks, every day of your life, you're going to have to make choices. Every day of your life, you're going to have to make decisions. Sometimes those choices and those decisions are not comfortable. And I would imagine during this time of this new abnormal, you've had to make some choices. You've had to make some decisions that weren't real comfortable, but they had to be made. Life is every day of breath that is filled with choices and decisions you will make. Death, the end of life and stress. At some point, life is going to run out.
Hey, Richard, real quick, sorry to cut you off. We can't see your PowerPoint.
You can't see it?
No, sir. Sorry about that.
Okay, let me get back over here and let's see what we can do. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here.
Yep, back on it. Thank you.
Back on it. Thank you.
Sorry, I hate to cut you off. I know you were right in the middle of it.
We need to figure out what's going on here. Let me move this. And let me go down here and see if we can do this.
Thank you so much.
Yay! We did it. But we're on our word death, which is the end of life and stress. We have another term, uptight, seeking to catch your breath while you're still running. And I'm going to tell you, this is the way I'm finding many business owners operating today, is that they're running. They're trying to figure out what to do. This unknown, this uncertainty, this unpredictable, this uncontrollable has left many people just not knowing what to do. And so they got this feeling of being uptight. They know they need to do something, but sometimes they're fearful of making the wrong decision. So rather than making a decision, there seems like that they're frozen in time. They're standing in a fog. And in that fog, they find that emotionally, they're just gathering a whole foundation of emotions. Now, folks, hear me. And please take what I'm about to say very seriously. When it comes to making choices and decisions in life, there are only two foundations that you make choices from. One foundation is you make the choice because you believe in yourself, you trust in your ability, and you have the faith through experience that you're going to do the right thing. The second foundation is through doubt, worry, and uncertainty. You doubt because you haven't been here before. And every time you doubt, here's what's going to happen. You're going to worry. And when doubt and worry come together, they make you feel uncertain. And when you're living through doubt, worry, and uncertainty, you're going to experience this uptight. So if you look at your life and you look at your business right now, would you say that you're building more upon the foundation of belief, trust, and faith, or doubt, worry, and uncertainty? And if you want to know the answer, just look at your life. Are you uptight right now? Do you feel like that you're racing, you're trying to catch your breath, but you can't seem to slow down? Bad stress, the part of decision making, the part of the decision making process that is slowly killing you. It's wearing you out. It's wearing you down. It's playing with you emotionally. You feel like you're stuck. You feel uncertain. You're not sure what to do. And then there's good stress, the part of your decision-making process that is protecting you from killing yourself. Good stress says this: I believe that I can handle this. I believe in myself. I trust that I can do the right thing. And I have the faith that I'm going to step forward. And in stepping forward, I'm going to continue to grow my business. So we seem to be freezing up here a lot. Hang on a second. Let's go back. So here's our insight. The truth is, you can't live without stress. But if you can't control it, it is going to kill you. And I'm not sure why this is freezing up on us. Hang on a second. Let me just go back here.
Do you want to try to take it off of presenter view?
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. It does not do this.
Yeah, and if you want to keep going, we don't have to see the presentation either.
Well, I can go on with that, but let me try one more thing here.
Sure.
Well, we're going to take it off of presenter, and I'm just going to go on with the information if that's okay with everybody.
Sounds good.
Okay. And then after the concept of good stress, we have another word called tension. And tension is whenever you feel like a rubber band being pulled in too many different directions. And in this time of this new abnormal, as I'm talking to people, one of the things that I'm seeing is that I'm seeing people today that are just emotionally being stressed and they're being stretched. They're not quite sure what to do, but they know they need to do something. And the fact that they seem to be frozen in time, the fact that they seem to be living in this time of uncertainty is just bringing more tension to their life. And then we have a word called choice, making decisions that affect the direction of your life. And every day of your life, folks, you make choices. From the moment you get up in the morning to your day is over, your day is a series of choices. And I'm going to go back to this. The choice you make is going to be enacted based upon the foundation you use to make that choice. If I make my choice through the fact that I believe, I trust, and I faith, I have the calmness and the clarity to go forward. If I make my choice through my doubt, my worry, and my uncertainty, then I'm going to be paralyzed. I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to be uncertain. I'm not going to know what to do. And so anything I do is going to be a guess rather than a decision. You see, the truth is you can't live without stress. But without it, if you don't control it, it will kill you. So I want to give you a little test. Here are some signs to determine whether you're managing your stress or your stress is managing you. First, standing still, not knowing what to do, makes you feel even more uptight. In some ways, you feel guilty because you know you need to be doing something. Time is something there never seems to be enough of. That even in this new abnormal, you're trying to figure out what to do. You're trying to figure out how to do it. You're trying to figure out how to keep your business going. And I don't know about you, but I get up in the morning and I get up around 4 o'clock. I have my coffee. And by the time I look at the clock, it's 7 in the evening. Because I've got things that I have to get done in order to keep things moving. Signs that you're not managing your stress. Racing is the track your life is running on. Right now, your pace is out of control because you're living in a reactionary mode. Right now, sign, emotions are guiding your life. If you live on that foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty, you're living in a world where your emotions are guiding your life right now, and that's going to increase your stress. Sensing things are never going to be the same. And that you know that on the other side, you're going to have to adjust. And I'm going to tell you, for some of us, adjusting is not easy. And if you can't adjust, you can't adapt. If you can't adjust and adapt, stress is going to take over your life. And then the last sign, seeing yourself overwhelmed, but you keep adding more. See, sometimes what happens when we get into this world of uncontrollable, because I'm used to controlling my world, when I'm in this world of uncertainty, where I'm used to being able to make decisions, then what happens is that I try to figure out something to do. So I tried this, I tried that, I tried these other things, but yet none of them are giving me what I want. So I feel overwhelmed. Folks, here's my thought. People who work to eliminate stress only increase their stress, while those who learn to control their stress can control its effect upon its life. And as we were looking at the definitions, there is a thing called good stress and bad stress. Bad stress winds you up tighter and tighter, while good stress teaches you how to release the tension you're feeling. You know, bad stress always says you need to run faster. You need to do more. You got to prove yourself. You got to be superhuman. You ought to be able to handle this, even though I have no idea what to do right now. Good stress understands that there will always be things to do, and that you must control the pace of your life. You must be able to establish priorities for your life. You must be able to properly manage your time right now so that you're not being overwhelmed with the uncontrollable, the uncertainty, the unknown, the unpredictable. I've taught for years that you and I live in a 4-room stress house. I can take your life and I can put it into 4 rooms. You have your business room. Now, this is the number 1 room of mental stress. This is where mentally it will just wear on you. You ever had a day at the end of the day, man, you were just so mentally stressed, so mentally wiped out, and you were just tired from everything you had to deal with that day. And what I'm finding right now, there are some major causes of stress in the business room. Sameness. When the business room becomes routine driven, all of a sudden it increases the stress. Now, put it to where we are right now. The routine's been interrupted. It's not business as usual. It's about your being willing to look at your business, take an honest look, and adapt and adjust to what needs to be done right now. Another thing that we're finding that creates stress in the business room is there's too much noise. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, there is more for you to be able to have to deal with. Also, resistance to change is increasing the stress. And then everybody needs something from you. And then sensing you feel this room is not providing you with what you want. And right now, what I'm hearing from a lot of people, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't know what to expect. And when you put these together and the mental pressure that they put on you, that there's going to be an increase in stress in your business room. You got a second room, which is your family room, and this is your number 1 room of emotional stress. Now, there's some major causes right now of the stress in this room. The financial pressure. You have no idea of how many phone calls, how many emails, how many people are reaching out to me right now just because they're feeling the financial stress of this room. And that because that business room is not producing what it would normally produce, it means that financially in the family, there's got to be adjustments. There's got to be some adapting, and that's not always easy. The family room, there's disconnect here. I had a conversation yesterday with a small business owner with he and his wife. And one of the things that's happening is that because of the fact that they're sequestered, they're around each other more than they've ever been. So what's happening is that it's causing them to have to deal with their relationship at a level they've never dealt with. And he doesn't have the business room now to escape into. So he's home and they're having to talk about their relationship. They're having to deal with their relationship. And it's causing a lot of stress with them. Resisting the changes that need to be made in the family room. Change is a part of every room of your life. Causes of stress. Enjoyment has diminished. And one of the things I see today, and I think we're going to see this on the other side in a big way, because I think when we get out of this new abnormal and we get to the other side, we're going to see an increase in the divorce rate. Because of the fact that so many people, the couple I talked to yesterday, I asked him, do you want to be married to her? He paused for quite a while and he said, not the way it is. I asked her, do you want to be married to him? She paused and said, I don't think so. You see, folks, there's an emotional roller coaster that relationships go through. We either tolerate each other, we like each other, we love each other, or we're in love with each other. Now, you can handle the tolerating, the liking, and the love if you've got the in love. If you can always come back to the in love, you'll understand Yeah, we're going to go through the times when we're going to tolerate each other, but we're in love, so we'll work through it. We're going to like, we're going to love, but we're going to come back. And in that place, what has happened is that couple has lost that special something that brought them together. And I'm going to show you this new time of abnormal in the family room is showing a tremendous amount of disconnect and the resistance to the changes that should have been made. And if you put those together, then some of the stress in this room is that the enjoyment has diminished. You don't feel the support that you think you need. And when you look at the future, all you see is more of the same in this room. That's going to increase the stress. You have a social room. This is your playroom. And here's what we're seeing today are the major causes of stress in this room. There's a sense of guilt that goes with the social room if you want to go do it. And there's a sense of guilt that goes with wanting to have fun. I hear this all the time. I don't have time for a social room. I've got too many other things I have to take care of. We don't have the money to spend in a social room. You know, I don't go to the social room to have fun. I go there to run away. And you know what, Richard? There'll be plenty of time in my life to have fun later on. But right now, I got to really concentrate on work. And the other thing is, sometimes you get into the social room and you don't want to leave. I think there's another thing that we're going to have to deal with when we get to the other side. And I think we're going to see an increase in depression. I think we're going to see a rise in alcoholism because people today, they're out of sync with their life. And when you're out of sync with your life, you don't know how to adjust or adapt to what this new normal is bringing to your life. And that increases the stress. We got one more room. That's your personal room. Your personal room is the space where you go to discover who you are and plan for what you want with your life. And folks, if you said, Richard, how do these rooms need to be arranged? Here's how most people live. Businesses first, families second, socials third, and personals fourth. And this is what's causing so much stress right now because your personal room is your room of preparation. Your personal room is your room of where you plan your life, your future, your business. And for so many people, before we went into this new abnormal, they were so busy, they didn't have any time to really prepare their business because they were just so busy, trying to run their business. And for a human life to be in sync, for a human life to be able to manage stress, it's got to be personal room first. You got to be able to design your life and your business. In your personal room is where your dreams going to be born. But I tell you, most people have a challenge being by themselves and being alone. And then the second room is your family room. You need that emotional support. And if you don't have that emotional support, then without you realizing it many times, your business room is where you go to get away from the family, or it's where you go to make sure you don't have time for yourself. And then the fourth room is the social room. Do you know that when you stop knowing how to play, you get old? And when you stop having fun, you get old. And I meet a lot of people right now that are young, but they're old because their life is out of sync. And the more that your life is out of sync, the more uptight you become. So back to our definition. Stress is anything in life that makes you uptight. Here's one more checklist for you. What's making people feel uptight today? This is what I'm hearing. This is what I've been sensing, what I've been feeling, what I've been seeing ever since we've gone into this new abnormal. Right now, they're under too much tension. They're not sure what to do. And when you're an entrepreneur, When you're a person who's used to being able to make decisions and get the results you want, and all of a sudden this new abnormal has taken over control of what is, it's going to increase the tension. The result is you're going to be uptight. Major cause of feeling uptight, the pace of your life. Right now, most of us are living from our emotions up, not our mind down. And when we do that, the pace of our life speeds up. When I'm living from my emotions up, my life can overwhelm me. When I'm living from my emotions up, everything about my life seems to speed up. And yet, when I look around me, things have actually slowed down. But because I don't have control, because I'm dealing with an unknown, everything seems to be speeding up. And it's just increasing the feeling of being uptight. Back to the financial pressure. There are businesses that are not going to make it. On the other side of this new abnormal, there are businesses that financially are not going to be able to sustain themselves. And that pressure is being felt right now. It's making people uptight. Making people uptight, if you want to be honest, people are tired. I hear this in voices of people where they talk about, I just want my life to get back to normal. Never going to be there. I just want to get back to having a life. Your life is never going to look like it is now. And tiredness wears us down, makes us uptight, which will increase our stress. Making people uptight, they've lost control. Where they could make the decisions, where they could be the person that was in control, now this new abnormal has taken that away. And making uptight, it means they're having to carry a load that they've never carried before. Why? Because you're not sure what to do. You've lost control. You're out of sync. There's an unknown. And it just makes you uptight. So, having time for and stress always seem to go hand in hand. You see, the more you struggle and the faster you move, the more you put time as an enemy. Now let's go back to this. Stress is always present. But please hear me. It doesn't have to be a negative part of your life. The key is learning how to control the stress in your life. And please don't forget, you either control the stress or the stress controls you. And I'm going to go back to this because it's so critically important. What you're doing with your life right now, the amount of stress you have in your life right now is dependent upon which foundation of life you're building on right now. Do you believe that you can get through this? Do you believe that on the other side things can improve? Do you trust that you have the knowledge and the experience to not let this overwhelm you and not let doubt take you out of the game? Do you have that trust in yourself? Do you have the faith that when you get to the other side, you will step back into your business? You will have control. And you will not let doubt, worry, and uncertainty take you out of the game. Do you believe that? Or are you standing in the midst of the fog, doubting what tomorrow is going to look like? Worrying about what you're going to do. And being uncertain about what the future is going to look like. Please, please, please hear me. What tomorrow will look like is dependent on which one of these two foundations you're building on right now. Belief, trust, and faith, doubt, worry, or uncertainty. So, I want to give you what I think are the 7 steps to controlling the stress in your life. Folks, you can't eliminate stress. It's always going to be a part of your life. You cannot eliminate it. You can't live without it. But if you can't control it, it will kill you. It can do that. It can kill you emotionally. It can kill you mentally. It can kill you physically. So don't try to eliminate stress. Learn to what it is and it means to control stress. So these are not magical, but I want to promise you that these 7 steps can help you control the stress in your life. Number 1, and there is an order to these. Calm yourself down before you make any decision right now. You're going to make decisions every day. You're going to make choices. And see where that decision is coming from. Am I reacting or responding? Which am I doing? Because if I react, that's doubt, worry, and uncertainty. If I respond, that's belief, trust, and faith. Which one am I using to make my decisions right now? Because this is a time where you've got to be planning what you're going to do on the other side of this new abnormal. And we will get through this. And yes, it's going to look different. Yes, you're going to have to adjust. Yes, you're going to have to adapt. But you've got to have the right foundation that allows you to stay calm in the midst of this new abnormal and make your decision based upon your belief, your trust, and your faith. Step number 2, open yourself to admitting and facing the fears you're having within you right now. You know, the unknown creates fear. The uncontrollable creates fear. The unpredictable creates fear. Uncertainty creates fear. And I need to, as I calm down, I need to admit I'm frightened right now. Because where I'm used to being the one that's in control, this control has been taken away from me. And I look forward, and right now what I see is a blank screen. And there's fear in that. You're not perfect. You're a person, you have problems, you have hang-ups. You have things you don't want to face. And yet, if we resist this, we heighten our fear and we give in to doubt, worry, and uncertainty. But if we can admit, I am a human, and yes, I'm frightened, but I believe in me. I trust in my experiences. I have the faith that I can do what needs to be done. And if I have the belief, the trust, and the faith, I'm going to control my fear and I'm going to control the stress. But if I have doubt, worry, and uncertainty, I'm going to react to the fear and the stress is going to control me. Step number 3, never take on more than you can manage. Your pace right now is important. And I'm going to keep coming back to this because in controlling stress, it's so important you understand this. The pace of your life is based on the foundation that you're using to make choices and decisions right now. If I live with doubt, worry, and uncertainty, I'm living from my emotions up, I'm speeding up, I'm increasing the stress in my life. But if I live from my belief, my trust, and my faith that I can handle this, I can do it, then what am I doing? I'm allowing myself to control the stress in my life. And you've got to look right now, what am I putting on my plate? And I'm going to tell you something. Doubt, worry, and uncertainty keeps bringing negative emotions to your plate. And the more negative emotions you put on your plate, the heavier that plate becomes. The heavier that plate becomes emotionally, the more it wears on you mentally. So take a look at your life right now. Am I letting my doubt, my worry, and my uncertainty overload my life, making me uptight? And folks, if you are, it is just going to overwhelm you with stress. Step number 4. Treat yourself as someone you love. You know, this new abnormal can cause you to get down on yourself. Do you know that when you live in a world of uncontrollable, it causes you to look at yourself differently? I should be able to handle this. I should know what to do. When you live in a world of the unpredictable, the unmanageable, the world of uncertain, the world of unknown, it just puts more on top of you. And without realizing it, it starts wearing you down and changing your view of yourself. Do you believe you're a leader? Do you trust that you have the capability to see what is honestly happening and trust yourself through your belief in you that you can handle this and that you have the faith to step into the unknown, the uncontrollable, the unpredictable? Do you have the faith that I can bring things to the point where they need to be? Do you? Step number 5 to controlling stress. Refuse to make this a race. You know, I meet a lot of people right now that their whole attitude is, I just need to get through this. Let's just get through this. And emotionally, they're just speeding up. Emotionally, they're just taking off. Emotionally, they're there, but they're not there because they're moving too fast. There are 3 P's right now to control stress that you got to have. You've got to have a pace that you can manage. If you can't manage your pace, the stress is going to overwhelm you. You got to have patience right now. That I know we're going to get through this. I know we're going to get on the other side, but I can't increase my anxiety. Because folks, when you live with doubt, you live with skepticism. When you live with worry, you live with uncertainty. When you live with that uncertainty, you paralyze yourself. And I've got to understand, I've got to have the right pace with the patience. And then there's the 3rd P. I got to be persistent right now in preparing myself to be the person I need to be when we get on the other side. What is this new abnormal teaching me about me? What am I learning about me right now that I can use to improve me and strengthen me, make me better, make me smarter, make me stronger in my life? What can I do right now? Because this is your time to prepare for what is going to be on the other side. But if you go over and you sit in the corner and you're filled with doubt, worry, and uncertainty, when the other side gets here, the stress is going to be twice as much as it is. But if I go and I am proactive because I believe, I trust, I have faith, I know my pace is important, I have the patience, and I'm being persistent with what I need to do to make sure I can manage my business on the other side, I'm able to control the stress. So this leads it to step number 6. Open your life to taking an honest look at yourself. What are you learning about you? What are you seeing in you right now? Are you living in a time right now where you're strengthening yourself, or are you doubting yourself? You have to take an honest look at yourself. Now, to do that, we got to do step number 7 to control the stress in our life. You got to open your life to take an honest look at yourself. Are you doing that? I'm going to come back to this because you won't get me away from it, because right now it's the foundation to what type of stress you're living in your life. Are you living with doubt, worry, and uncertainty? Or are you living with belief, with trust, and faith in yourself? This thing called stress is real. It is part of who you are. You'll never get rid of stress. You'll have stress until the day that you die. But stress does not have to overwhelm you. But it is a test. It's a test of who you are. It's a test of how much you trust yourself. This time of this new abnormal can be an awakening to who you've been as compared to who you need to be. And are you using this time to improve you, make you better? Are you using this time to sharpen your knowledge, be smarter? Are you using this time to strengthen yourself as a leader, preparing who you're going to be on the other side to take your business and adapt it, adjust it, prepare it to be what it needs to be when we get to the other side of this new abnormal? This thing called stress, it's real. It is real. But what you do with it is your choice. Can I just put a couple of dates in front of you that you might enjoy? This coming Friday, and every Friday, I'm doing a Zoom classroom where what we do is we have a topic for the morning, and we have 100 chairs in the classroom, and we can handle 100 people. And every Friday from 10 to 11, we open up the mics and we let people talk about what they're experiencing right now. Like right on this coming Friday, we're going to talk about what's your purpose. Because I think one of the things that's happening right now, people are having to look at themselves at a way that they've never looked at themselves before. And they're looking at themselves from the inside out, where in the normal world that we came out of, we looked at ourselves from the outside in. And if you would go to my website, richardflint.com, you could register for the classroom. It's Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Every month we do a free webinar. Our next one will be coming up on June the 4th, and our topic is going to be discipline. One of the foundations that you're going to have when you get to the other side of this is that your discipline is going to have to be stronger than it's ever been. Because your discipline feeds your desire. Your discipline strengthens your determination. So on June the 4th, which is a Thursday at 10 in the morning, we're going to talk about discipline. We've got a few minutes left, and I know I've thrown a lot at you, and I'm sorry for what happened with the PowerPoint. It's the first time I've had this happen to me. So it sort of made me stressed. But you know what? We can always adapt. So, Kristen, if I don't know how I can see this on here, but if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to just do what I can to answer them.
Definitely. So everybody has a Q&A box as well as a chat box at the bottom of their screen. If y'all want to ask Richard a question, now would be a great time to do so, and we'll go through those real quick with him. So we'll leave that open for a minute or so.
Yep, I've got my chat box open. So if you want to put a question in there, I'll see if I can deal with it.
Yeah, so one thing, just off the top of my head, I mean, what are some things besides just your businesses right now that are really stressing you out just with COVID-19 and anything like that? That would be a great conversation starter as well.
Well, you know, Kristen, the thing that I struggle with sometimes, Right now, the big thing for me is I don't know who to believe. I mean, I listen to one person, they tell me one thing. I listen to another person, they tell me something different. And I'm hearing this from a lot of people that they're just so stressed because there's so much information coming at them and they don't know who to believe. And, if you don't know who to believe, how do you make decisions? How do you know what to do? And I think that for a lot of people, that is a real issue. And too many people are spending too much time listening to the news right now. You need to turn the news off and quit feeding that to yourself. It's only going to stress you out.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Richard. And then we do have one question/comment. Mike from Butler's, as the PowerPoint was messing up, what tactics did you use to manage your stress and not making a knee-jerk statement or reaction?
First thing I did was take a deep breath. Second thing I did is realize that I didn't know what was going on. So rather than react to what was happening, find the solution, find the resolution, and not let it knock me off my feet. The biggest challenge for most people in life so many times that in some ways increases their stress, they can't think on their feet. They get rattled too easily. And part of that is because of which foundation are they building on? Belief, trust, and faith, doubt, worry, and uncertainty. And folks, if you take those two foundations and use them as you're making decisions right now in your life, which one of those two foundations are you building on? Because you will build on one of the two. They're the only two you can build on. So which one are you making decisions and choices based on? Look at it.
Awesome.
That's what I did.
You did great. Let's see. We don't have any other questions just yet. Again, guys, this can be a question, a comment, really anything at all. Let's just get the conversations going if you have anything at all.
I'll put the question out there. Did the information make sense to you about stress? If you were to take one thing away from this time we've had together, what would you take away? Because if there's nothing you can take away, then what happens? You've stressed yourself out by being here. But if you can take away one piece of information, just one thought, then what you've done is you're bringing a sense of calmness and clarity to your life. So did you take anything away from this? I hear silence, Kristen.
I know I definitely did. Amanda here said that stress can bring you down, but there's always a way to manage it.
That's true. And that's the important thing to understand. You can't live without stress, but you cannot eliminate stress. What you can learn to do is control it. And when I control it, I take away the harmful aspect of stress in my life. Someone else, I see another one down here. Mike was talking about, I think the statement about marriage and divorce is going to be an interesting consequence of the virus. Great to emphasize how stress will wear marriages through this situation. It's going to show you the foundation. It's going to show you the foundation of what your relationship is like. And what's interesting is that through this time of this new abnormal, are we dealing with times where we're tolerating each other? Are we dealing with times where we're just liking each other? We're dealing with times where we're in love, we love each other, but we're wearing each other's nerves. But as long as you can come back to in love, and folks, hear me, being in love means going back to that special something that brought you together. There is something special that brings a couple together. As long as you've got that special something, you can always get back to in love. But if you forget or lose that special something and in love goes away, then what happens? You start disconnecting. And how do I disconnect? The love weakens. I don't like the person. Now I'm just tolerating them and I want out of here. And from someone who used to do marriage counseling, I see this all the time. And then from Darlene, believe in yourself. Man, Darlene, that is so important. It is so very, very, very important, is that you believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you're on the pathway to be able to strengthen yourself. Thanks, Darlene.
Richard, it looks like that's all we have. Thank you again so much for presenting today. I know I took a lot out of this, and I hope everybody that attended did as well. So we really appreciate having you.
Well, I just really want to apologize for the mess up with the PowerPoint. I'm not sure what went wrong,
No
but
worries.
that's okay. We talked about this thing called stress.
Absolutely. You did great. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.